You're good to go.
Okay. All right. Well, hello, everybody. I'd like to call the meeting to order. It's 6:08 tonight. Our chair, Kevin, is running a little bit behind. So we're just going to go ahead and get the meeting started. We do have our co-chair, Pearl, here with us, but I'm going to go ahead and start the meeting. So first, I'd like to get an approval of the agenda. You want to make everybody saw tonight's agenda? Can I get somebody to approve that? Tracy? Okay,
I'll
and
second.
seconded by
I'll second.
Linda. Thank you. All right, any declarations of interest tonight? I don't think so.
If you could just vote on the agenda, that'd be perfect.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Thank you. Newbie here. Okay, so all in favor for the agenda? Okay.
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you. No declarations of interest, I don't think, tonight. Delegations and presentations? I don't think so. Okay, everybody had a chance to look over the minutes from the previous meeting? Can I get a motion to approve? Pearl, and seconded by Linda. All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Okay. So moving on, first item on the agenda is the Digital Main Street update. So Justin and Dana, I think that's you.
I'll take that one. So it's going to be a brief Digital Main Street update tonight. We're closing in on the end of this digital service squad period. So that's concluding the second week in June. Right now, we're looking to try to get as many of the grant recipients to complete their final reports as possible. I believe we still have about 40% of the grant recipients to complete, and they have until May 31st to expend the funds and do that, but they were all extended to that point, so they're not in any danger. They just need to complete that by the end of the month. This morning, Digital Main Street, the OBIAA released their report for this round of Digital Main Street, where they highlighted a few businesses from across the province, as well as doing a video of a variety of the activities and businesses across the province. I'm going to share that to the BIA social media page tomorrow, but there will be localized regional videos that are going to come out in the next couple of weeks as well. So that's something to look forward to, that focus on some of the activities that have happened across the province. I did share last week on the BIA Facebook page a post that the OBIA did about Old Magic in Prescott, highlighting them as a success story in the Digital Main Street program. They're going to be rolling out a few more of those, I believe, in the coming weeks, but they're sort of tight-lipped about who that's going to be, so I don't know if there's going to be any more local ones, but Old Magic Shop did get highlighted there. Beyond that, we're continuing until mid-June, so anyone that still requires assistance or would like to get involved in those other programs, they're still available.
Awesome. All right, anything else to add to that? Dana, do you have anything else for the Digital Main Street?
No, other than we're just very hopeful that we are going to get an announcement of some additional funding in June that will also provide another round of grants to businesses. So we're very hopeful about that. And I also just wanted to note, Justin delivered a fantastic presentation this week to the Edwardsburg Cardinal Council, just to give them an update on the Digital Main Street and his progress. It was very well received, and they're very excited about the impacts that it's had on their businesses. So we're receiving some really good regional feedback from our partners as well. And I was very excited to see how well received Justin's update was this week.
That's awesome. Okay, nothing more on that. We'll go on to 6.2. We had on the OBIA, I believe, campaign. I'm not sure who can speak to that. I don't know if Kevin was planning on speaking to that or.
That would be me again.
Okay.
Kevin had, I believe Tracy and Kevin both highlighted the I Believe campaign. OBIAA rolled that out about a week and a half ago. What it is a concerted social media effort that they're trying to start across the province throughout OBIAAs or throughout BIAs to try to highlight the BIA's presence, highlight downtown businesses, and really, I think, raise a consistent brand awareness of BIAs across the province. They put together all of the marketing collateral templates. So we've basically been given Canva templates that we can use to personalize to the local areas to highlight board members, elected officials involved, businesses who are focusing on why they're involved with BIAs and why they believe in downtown businesses. So I went ahead and mocked up, unfortunately Kevin's not here so he can't see his, but went ahead and mocked up a couple. If I could just share the screen for a second so I could pull them up. But if we went ahead,
Matthew.
Went ahead with the I Believe program, what we would do is reach out first to the board members and then to businesses across the BIA and move forward with a concerted effort to post these to social media. So the first example here is one I did up with Kevin. We take headshots from businesses and take an I believe statement. So you'd provide a statement such as, I believe in our Main Street small businesses, highlight it, really highlight the people that are involved, get some recognition, as well as drawing attention to the broader BIA movement. So I did up a couple here. Tracy, I hope you're, but I found your shot on the Irving H. Miller website. So do is put together some ones based on, and again, you'd provide your own I believe statement that was related to the BIA and downtown businesses. But the idea would be that you get these headshots or a business shot from individuals with their I believe statements and try to do a concerted effort, perhaps every Tuesday and Friday through the BIA page for however long we had content for it to push out this I believe message. And I think that it would provide perhaps two benefits. One, it would raise awareness for the BIA and its activities. And it is something that's going to be rolled out by BIAs across the province. It's sort of a consistent branding that brings together all of the OBIAA member organizations. So there'll be a consistent branding from that across the province.
I really like how it kind of also puts a face to our directors, as well as, down the road once we engage additional businesses in the process. But it would be really good if we could start off with all the directors and really start to kind of put a face to them, so businesses, know who those key players are in the downtown core. And great headshot, by the way, Tracy.
Yeah. Yeah. Kevin's was really good too. Kevin's.
Yeah,
Kevin's was.
Yeah. I love that idea.
If that was something you wanted to go ahead with, then I would reach out first to the board and to go from there, start with the I believe initial campaign, and then we'd roll it out step by step further as far as people want to go with it.
Something else we could do is we actually just renewed our contract with our professional photographer this year. So if there was an appetite among the board and you wanted, some really nice headshots, we could possibly send Ashton around even to each of your individual places of businesses to capture some shots. She works right in the downtown core anyway, so I'm sure that she would probably be more than happy to do it, here and there on her lunch hour, if there's interest. But we've also got a very decent camera, and I'm sure, Justin can take some great photos too.
And it would be, I think, if we could get some shots that were, say, for example, behind a counter if you operated a store, sort of in your environment as
Yeah.
well, that you would also sort of get some marketing for your business as well. And especially when we roll it out to the businesses, that could be an enticing factor.
Yeah, I really like that idea. Like, I love Tracy's shop because you can actually see her business behind her,
Yeah.
where most headshots are just the face. So I really like the idea of incorporating the business. Like it just makes it more personal and more downtown, and it's highlighting the downtown as well.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Do we need to make a motion to be involved, or?
If you'd like, you can just give direction to staff to proceed.
Okay. Is everybody in agreement to proceed with that? Okay.
Aye.
Okay. We give permission to proceed. Yeah. I see Kevin has joined us.
Hello, sorry about that.
Kevin, that's okay. We went ahead and got started without you.
That's all right. That's all right. I got tied up for dinner for the kids, and I wasn't paying attention to what time it was. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Who's running the show?
So, well, now that you're here, you can take over if you like. We're just moving on to 6. We're moving right along, Kevin. 6.3. We're going to start the continued discussion around beautification.
Works for me. Okay, go.
Discuss.
Discuss all you want.
I think maybe Matthew's got some updates that would be a good kickoff. And then Justin, we have one update. Maybe we could actually have Justin give a quick update on the window washing. He has had a chance to do a little bit of exploration in that regard. Matthew, you're muted. Oh, there you go.
There we go. I think I would have learned by now. It's my 7,000th Zoom meeting, so. So wanted to provide a little bit of an update this evening, and so tomorrow morning at around 5 o'clock, our public works staff will be coming in early, and they'll be using the fire hydrants to pressure wash the sidewalks and the street, King Street. So that's our next step. As of, I believe, next Tuesday, we'll start hanging the baskets that are growing right along. And I believe we're also going to be this week and next week switching out the furniture. And what we're going to do is we're going to do one side of one block, have everyone take a look, make sure that we're happy with the placements and things like that. And then once everyone gives a nod or their feedback, then we'll continue with the rest. So that'll be moving along next week as well. All of the planter boxes have been built. We just wanted to make sure that we got the new furniture down there because that created some angst. So the new boxes have been built for the old benches, and as soon as we put the new benches in, then those boxes will go on the planters. So that's kind of what the next couple of weeks look like. In terms of kind of the more broad area, you'll notice that there's some work going on at the beach. We're putting in 2 new retaining walls, one on the east side, one on the west side, a set of steps that will actually go down into the water, as well as in another couple of weeks, we'll have a ramp that will actually go from the grassy area up towards on the west side and down into the water. So improvements there. Also, we're looking at sun shades for both Riverwalk Park and in Centennial Park. So that will be some improvements. We have a new planting plan for Riverwalk Park to provide some shade as well as color throughout the year. So I believe those plants are now on order, and they'll be planted over the next few weeks or as they come in and they're available. So an improvement we made last year to Riverwalk Park was an irrigation system, because it was certainly something that was missed in the original design. And it was really hard to grow grass there. And so we did put an irrigation system in that will really help support the growth this year in Riverwalk Park. And we're hoping to have green grass for the entire year. So really, those are some of the improvements that we are looking at as we're going along. And one of the other things that we started talking about a little bit internally is providing opportunities that are experiential in nature. And what I mean by that is, I think in movies and whatnot, you've seen where they have stone or concrete chessboards that are in parks. And so you just kind of bring your own checkers or chess pieces and be able to sit down and enjoy that with someone. So we're exploring those types of concepts. The other thing that I found the other day was a concrete ping pong table for outdoor in a park type thing. So again, you just bring your paddles and your ball, and you're able to play that. So some of the improvements that we're really looking at to provide along the riverfront and throughout the downtown to, again, bring people down, have something to do while you're down there, and then be able to have that linkage back to King Street. So it's all part of that cohesive plan. And then at the same time, there will be a presentation to council on Monday talking about the new property standards bylaw and some things that we would like to include in it. And so that I don't want to kind of preempt that presentation, but certainly we're going to be asking for feedback, more direct feedback from both the public and council and obviously the BIA. So that's now kind of on the table for May, June, July. So we're hoping by end of July or late summer, then we'll have a brand new property standards bylaw and again, be able to focus on that. I can't remember if I communicated after our last meeting, but council did approve a staff plan where we're going to have one or two of our seasonal staff that are dedicated to the downtown. And so every day their responsibilities will be making sure the garbages are completely done, making sure that the sidewalks are swept, that the weeding is being kept up. And so the focus is going to be on Water Street, King Street, through Riverwalk Park, and that's going to be their home location. So each day of the week they'll probably focus on a different task, and but that's really what we're trying to put resources behind to make that downtown experience as enjoyable as possible. So that's really from a beautification what we're working towards, and what the next kind of few months are going to look like. And we're hoping we're moving in the right direction. And certainly we've heard the feedback, and that's what we're trying to address as best as possible.
I think that's great.
All kinds of fun stuff. Does anybody have any other thoughts or ideas or suggestions or past suggestions that we've made that we just haven't dealt with? I have one in mind, but I'm not sure if we're going to have enough time. It was about for Canada Day, about the storefronts having flags, and it's something I think we kind of agreed we would like to do it, but I don't know if it's something that we would have enough time and how we would go about figuring that out. I guess it'd be the same thing about finding out if stores are even interested.
I think I'm just going to speak from my thoughts, and certainly Dana and Justin can chime in. But I think if we can source the flags and that sort of thing, and then just find out who would be interested in buying one from the town and installing it. So a couple of things that we just need to be cognizant of, making sure that it's high enough out of the way that if it's in the winter, we're not hitting it with the sidewalk plow because it's fairly tall. So just a couple of guidelines we'd want to cover there. But absolutely, I don't think that's I think it's a good community type show, and we look forward to seeing if people would be interested in it.
So would the BIA be contracting an installer to do it on behalf of the businesses to ensure that we we get that consistency, or are we putting it on the businesses to install?
I think that's completely up for debate. And so if you want, we can kind of work through some of the logistics of that. Find out how much it would be to install, how much the flags are, things like that. And then send that back to the BIA and see what you think.
What does everybody else think about that one?
I think it sounds good.
I see Tracy nodding.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think that's great because a lot of time we think that that's something that we'd like to do for our business, but we run out of time. So if we could have that sourced out and then have it presented to us, I think that'd be great.
And I like the idea too, that if it's being managed by the town and the BIA, there's going to be consistency across the board in terms of where everything is going to be, how it's going to be hung, it's going to be safe. The flags are going to be the same. I think it just brands it in a much better perspective.
Yeah, that would be my one recommendation, is if you are going to do it, you've also got to coordinate the installation, not just the purchase.
Right.
And who, I think it's important to decide whether that would be the town or a third party contractor. And, of course, budget is also going to really dictate, because that could get very expensive if the businesses weren't willing to also cover that cost. So we may want to try and hit them up for both the flag and the install fee. And I think Justin had an update on the window washing. Might be a good time for him to provide that.
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
at the last meeting, it was discussed the idea of a window cleaning program. So reaching out to businesses and property owners in the BIA area to see their interest in a collective window washing program. That the idea was sort of to, on one hand, help lower costs for businesses, and on the other hand, to try to entice some businesses that may not have been doing this sort of, not so much businesses as property owners that may not have been taking part in these sort of efforts, to try to find a lower price and a cohesive effort. So I contacted all of the business and property owners in the BIA area to sort of start to gauge interest as to whether or not they would want to take part in such a program. I had 9 businesses express an interest in taking part. No property owners that weren't also co-located businesses. So it didn't really hit the demographic that I think was partially hoped. As well, the number of businesses was probably lower than could make it viable at this particular junction. I can reach out directly again to some that didn't reply either yes or no, and I probably another reach out to the property owners that aren't businesses may also increase that number, but there was not a groundswell of interest to go ahead with it. Businesses were, I think, intrigued by the idea of lowering costs through a collective program for these sorts of projects. But at the same time, I think a lot of businesses were already doing this either on their own or already contracting. So there wasn't really a huge turnout or response over it.
Yeah, unfortunately, our observation is that it tends to be, those ones that we're really trying to hit with these programs are the ones that continually decline those opportunities. And as Justin mentioned, the ones who are really interested were already doing it. And essentially, this would just be a cost-saving opportunity for them, which, we would fully endorse. But I think we've got to look to other tools such as our property standards bylaw to really try and target these long-standing issues that we have, especially with the vacant commercial spaces and some of the more, I guess you could say, absentee property owners that just aren't necessarily fully engaged in the community.
Yeah, I'm not terribly surprised by that outcome. I don't think, as you guys said, like there's a lot of businesses already getting their windows cleaned. It's not that costly. I know I looked into it before, and it's I don't know, it doesn't take a whole lot of money out of your pocket, but yeah, I agree though. I guess it probably have to be into the property standards thing. 'Cause I don't know what else we could do from our standpoint. So, was there something I can't think of right off the top of my head? So, as far as that goes, then I get well. As far as us handling that goes, I guess that would be kind of there's a lack of interest, so I don't know if it's really worth pursuing. I don't know. What's everybody else think?
No, I think if there's only 9 people that are interested, I don't think it's going to be feasible to.
Yeah.
It really won't be a cost savings.
Agreed.
Yeah.
If the interest is there, if the interest was there, that would have been positive. But if the interest isn't really there, like launching something like this out for 9 companies is probably not the best or most viable option at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. That's too bad. You can't win them all, I guess.
And that's not to say you can't revisit it and,
No.
See if there's more interest down the road. And
Well,
I'm sure
it's also
Justin will
something that'd be
continue
good
to
to-
gauge.
Yeah, it'd also be good to look at too. Like if we do get a few more a few more window fronts filled with businesses, that might help too. So you never know.
Well, and from the alternative perspective as well, it also shows that we're all trying to think of options or things for the businesses to try to beautify. But we're giving them options, and if they choose not to proceed with it, that is definitely their choice and for their business. But at least it shows that we are doing things or trying to do things.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Well, thanks for all the hard work on that, Justin. Even knowing it didn't pan out so well, but we appreciate the effort you put into it. Now, do you want to call all the businesses and ask them if they want a flag?
We'll do that via email.
As for that topic, do we want to at least put a motion in to explore the cost? Then we can go from there. Because if it's an outrageous cost, then yeah. Were you gonna say something, Pearl? Sorry.
Yeah, I said, yeah, that would be a good idea.
Okay. I apologize. I'm a little absent. I'm still catching up to everybody. Yeah. Okay. Would anybody care to make that motion?
Yeah, I can make the motion to have Justin go ahead and send out an email and find out if there's any interest in purchasing and installing Canadian flags for each business.
That'll include probably the research of the cost.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah. Hard to sell it to the businesses if we don't know how much it's going to cost them.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I bought one for my place. I got mine. Now there's all kinds of sources you can go to. I bought mine from the people out in New Bliss. If you head out to Smith Falls, there's that little place that has all the flags and stuff.
Yeah.
I bought mine there, and I'll double check what that cost me just to see. They weren't that expensive actually, but anyways, nonetheless.
They're very affordable if you order them in bulk, Kevin. And we've got 2 or 3 municipal suppliers that we've used for flags, including that one you noted. I think we bought a pride flag from them last year. So we'll Justin will definitely have a good selection of providers to get some good pricing from.
Okay. So Pearl has made the motion. Anybody care to second that?
I'll second it.
Oh,
Oh,
Linda?
it was a race.
I got Linda. I'll put Linda down.
All right, second by Belinda. All in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty, motion carried. Again, thanks, Justin.
Yeah, thanks, Justin.
If I can backtrack for just a quick second, and it sounds like you guys were talking about the I Believe campaign when I jumped on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
okay. Just wanted to double check because that's what I had a feeling that's what you're talking about, but yeah, I think it's a good idea. Just
We were commenting
my
that your
own input.
headshot was very nice.
yeah,
So just a quick summary, Kevin, Justin's going to approach all of the BIA board members for headshots at their places of business
Perfect.
and start running regular posts. I think Tuesday and Friday is the plan. And then start engaging some of our other BIA member businesses from there, but definitely a go.
perfect. I like it. Thank Tracy for bringing that to my attention because I was just looking at it when she sent it to me originally, and it was like, hey, that's kind of a neat little idea. So, all right. So yeah, thanks, Tracy. Any other thoughts right now as far as beautification topics? Anybody got anything? Was that a hand up, Tracy, or were you stretching?
I just thought it was really interesting as an observation to see how the social media exploded when they thought that we were taking their benches away from them. And so I think there'll be a lot of really pleased people when they see the new furniture go in. So you never know like who's all watching until you see something like that. And it's like, oh, people are watching what we're doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's going to go over really well. So that's good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it will too. The funny part was that they said that we took that somebody took the benches away, but the benches were still there.
Yeah.
I think it was just because that one got moved, and I think somebody just must have assumed that it was all of them. And cause I went downtown, like, no, they're still all there. I don't know.
Prime
Anyway.
example of what making assumptions can lead to.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but on the upside, I mean, it is like somebody obviously was paying attention somewhere, but it is what it is. Because I know in the thread that was on there, 'cause I actually ended up posting the pictures of what some of the new stuff looked like, just to kind of but yet even after that though, people didn't see that I posted that, and people still thought the benches were gone. So it's like, okay, we'll have nice new benches. It's gonna look good.
On the beautification, just wanted to give a quick update. We had a really good meeting with the pole wrap providers this week.
Oh yes.
So we've sent them some designs and we should have some mock-ups within the next couple of weeks to show the group.
That would be great.
Alrighty.
I'm looking forward to seeing those.
I know I sent Matthew an email, and I just want to ask the question one more time, just in front of the group, and especially those of us who are downtown a lot. And I asked about the signage that's on all the poles, especially the traffic light poles. A lot of them are quite low. Is that going to cause issue, or can they be moved at all so you can actually see these things?
So we're going to evaluate each pole and exactly where things line up. What we're looking at is depending on the pole and the type and whatnot, but basically starting maybe 2 feet off the ground and going 5 feet. So you're at the 7 foot mark at that point.
Mhm.
And then we'll paint the rest of the pole and to remove any of the rust and just make it more standard. But at the same time, we're evaluating exactly where the signage is, making sure that it's not blocking, and being able to remove whatever doesn't need to be there. So yeah, we're definitely taking a look at each pole, seeing what is on there, what isn't on there, and there's a couple poles in particular, the ones at Center, George, and St. Lawrence, where one side of the street doesn't have anything on it. So I think that certainly makes it easier for those. And when we're looking at two distinct designs. So each corner will have that two design concept. And so as you're progressing through, you'll have the opportunity to see them in multiple locations.
Okay. No, just wanted to double check. Sounds good.
I missed that meeting. Whose idea was that for the pole reps?
That was Matthew, I think, was he not?
That was a great idea. That's just fantastic.
So
Yeah.
a lot of BIAs in Toronto have started using them, and that's really how I came across it. Was I was at a conference, and the vendor was there and had that material. So yeah, we're pretty excited. We're having a graphic designer that they work with on a regular basis to design what it will actually look like, and we're kind of excited that it'll provide a nice visual stimulus at each corner.
Yeah, it's fantastic. That's great.
Do you know when you'll have some samples?
I think by about 2 weeks, we should have the designs back, and then it takes 3 or 4 weeks for them to be manufactured. So,
all right, cool. All right. I have one quick question. Water Street, the Shoppers Drug Mart parking lot. Last year they had those the flower baskets along there. Are they coming back, or are they being moved?
no, they'll be back again this year, and then we'll have the addition of the bench planters on King Street. So there's also working on a change in a plan for the east side of Edward Street between King and Water Street. And so we're going to transform it a little bit away from a sidewalk and more to a visual path. So right now it's not traversable because all of the interlock is being pushed up by the tree roots. So we're actually going to remove some of the interlock from around the trees, and then I think we're looking at putting a vine type of a plant that will go along the wall, and then a couple of planters along there. So it's not usable as a sidewalk because of the trees being right in the middle of the center of it. It's not safe as a sidewalk because it's pushing up all of the interlock. So we're again trying to find something that is visually stimulating and at the same time allows us to provide something when you come down Edward Street that you're able to see that and say, oh, that's nice. So
Good.
Is that something you're doing this year, Matthew?
it is. One of our staff members came up with that, and so we've tasked him with kind of doing the planning for it, and he's taken a hold of that, and so probably over the next 4 to 6 weeks, so we'll be tackling it.
Alrighty. Anything else, anybody? I see nothing. How about we move along then? How about 6.4? The brick fundraiser for the new rink. I actually didn't even know this was a thing until I guess the announcement of the arena. Is everybody aware of what it is they're doing as far as this goes? Everybody's nodding. That's good. That's good. So it was only just my thought. I don't know if there's any interest or not in the BIA making a donation for a brick. That is
a great idea.
Just something I'm actually going to probably do one for my business as well. And I did talk to a couple other business owners that are actually going to do the same thing. So I guess all it comes down to is an amount of money that we would like to donate. The minimum's 100, I believe. That's $100 a brick
Price, Kevin. So every $100 buys you a brick.
Yeah. So basically, you can buy a bunch of bricks.
And we are just as a quick note, we're also developing some other sponsorship options. Not to dissuade you from the brick, but there may be some other options that the BIA is interested in as well that might get you some more prominent or recognition in a different area of the facility if there's interest. Or you could look at doing both, purchase a brick for now and maybe plan at doing something bigger too as opportunities come available.
I'm assuming we're talking things like walls around the rink, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, naming rights of certain things.
Mhm.
You know, there's some other options just kind of in the works.
Okay. Well, yeah, definitely let us know about them, or I'm sure we'll hear about them, some of them at some point. But I don't know, as far as this one goes, if you guys do want to do that, we can come up with an amount of money that we want to spend. We seem to like the idea. I guess it's just about the money.
So just my initial thought would be, I think we should consider one brick at this point in time, and then just kind of wait until we see what the other opportunities may be, just because we wouldn't want to look at a series of bricks and then find out that there were other opportunities that we might not be involved in just because of economic considerations. So I definitely think we should be involved with it, have a brick. I mean, we can always purchase additional bricks later if we don't like what the things down the road are looking at. That would just be my initial thought.
I think it's a valid point. Yeah. I like the idea of going with the brick.
All right. Anybody else?
I agree as well.
All right.
Start off with one brick.
Sounds good to me. It all starts with one brick. Alrighty. Who would care to make the motion?
I'll motion that the BIA donate $100 to the brick fundraiser for the new rink.
Perfect. Anybody care to second that?
I'll second.
Seconded by Belinda. All in favor?
Aye.
That's my hand. There it is. Alrighty. Motion is carried. Perfect.
Just a quick note, we've got a fillable form for that. I'm happy to send that along. Should that go to Karen, is secretary, or who wants to fill it out?
I have one here actually.
Oh, you've got it? Okay,
Yeah, I can fill it out because then I can put mine on it as well.
perfect.
Dana,
Oh.
can you send one to me as well, please?
Yeah, for sure. I'll send one to the entire board, because it
Oh,
would be
perfect.
great
Thank
if
you.
there's other businesses that want to donate. And they are going fast, so don't hesitate.
So how as far as like as soon as if I bring the form in to whoever, will town just take the money?
Yeah, so actually
us?
I've got a new
Mine
form.
might be a donation myself, but
Yeah, it's you just submit the form and then Donna will follow up with you for payment. They want the cash as soon as possible, but
Yeah.
get your form submitted and then she can work with you on arranging for the payment, especially with us being closed right now.
yeah, no problem. Yes. So yeah, I'll deal with that. All right.
Matthew, I just wanted to mention as well, I forgot to do this earlier. My dad wanted me to thank the town of Prescott. He was able to get his vaccine today from the pop-up, and he said that it was amazing. It was well organized and well run. He was really, really pleased.
Excellent.
Awesome.
So a couple of shout outs that we want to do for that. One obviously is the health unit. The other is Prescott Family Health Team. They came to the table and provided quite a few of the resources. And then also our volunteers from both Prescott and Augusta. It was a very nice joint effort. And so we really appreciate the positive feedback.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's great. I had mine down at Shoppers last week, the week before. Because I know Brett got upset because he found out that we were waiting in line for stuff because you could just walk in and get one when he had an appointment for 3 weeks later. But yeah, it's good to see that people are getting their shots, and hopefully normalcy will return sooner than later. All right, so that was 6-4 for the brick fundraiser. That takes us to 7 for our financial report. Anything new, Tracy?
So to date, including our commitment to the pole wrap, we've spent about, with the brick today, about $2,800. So we still have a lot of money to spend. There is one bill that we have to pay, and that is just for the domain registration. Our annual, it's $39.55. So if I could just make a motion to pay that domain name renewal, prescottdowntown.ca.
All righty.
Great.
I'll second that motion.
All right, motion made by Tracy and seconded by Pearl. All in favor?
Aye.
And sorry, Tracy, who do we pay it to? Who's it to?
Henderson Printing.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Don't worry, we'll get that money spent. Don't you worry about it. I'm sure we'll find spots. Next, staff. Staff get anything extra on top of what was said?
Just a quick plug for the business survey that is going out and about right now. I sent an email out to all the businesses right now. So we're collecting feedback. We've got our business working group that's a partnership of all the townships in the county of Leeds-Grenville, trying to compile some information from businesses related to the pandemic and impacts, and then developing some programs to assist wherever possible with recovery. So your feedback is very important to us. Please feel free to send that out to anyone else in your contacts. The more feedback we can get, the better. And of course, the more we can get from Prescott, the more we can hear your voice and develop programs tailored to our business community. And then I think Justin just has an update on the AGM. He's been working very hard coordinating that. So we've got an update on that.
So everyone is confirmed for the AGM. We're going to have George Turney from the Folk Fest will be there. Bonnie will be there from the Chamber to speak about their activities. Nicole Hudson from Katarina's will join me to present about Digital Main Street as well. So, and Dana will be presenting about the economic development and tourism. So there'll be a full agenda there. We've set up an Eventbrite. So any BIA member who wishes to attend can register through the Eventbrite, and they can attend the Zoom meeting that evening. So that is set up. We started to circulate that. Dana sent it around to all members on Friday, and it'll be posted through social media over the coming weeks to make sure everyone is aware of that opportunity. Beyond that, I believe that is the AGM. I don't think there's anything else that needs to be done at this time for that. I also wanted to, while I was speaking, just update everyone. So I've been working with Josephine from the farmers market, and we're working on putting that together. It'll be pending COVID restrictions and so forth, but that is an ongoing activity, and hopefully again, pending COVID restrictions, that's something that will be going in the summer this year.
Good.
Just had an afterthought on AGM, just based on the fact that we aren't doing in person. You know, in past, we would have rented a facility, we would have had refreshments, hors d'oeuvres. Is there, again, just, you know, this is probably a little bit late in the day to be bringing this up, but alternatively, does anyone have any ideas? Belinda, with your awards event for the chamber recently, you know, did you guys find any ways to try and engage in that kind of social aspect of it while still having virtual? Any suggestions or thoughts, or do we just go, you know, very bare bones this year?
So in terms of what we did, and Dana, you were such an intrinsic part of that. So really what we had done in terms of trying to support a member of ours, because again, usually with our AGM, we would have rented a venue and a caterer and everything else. So we partnered with the town of Prescott to help with the Prescott Dollars and the Walk House. And everyone that had attended, we unfortunately didn't have the budget to support this, but everyone who attended, they got a coupon, like a Prescott Dollars coupon, which they could present when the Walk House delivered to them. So we were trying to support local businesses and just try to keep the fact that there was like some type of dinner involved in that. The feedback that we'd kind of touched base in terms of looking at what we could do in terms of swag bags and that kind of thing. And there wasn't a lot of positive feedback in regards to that. So really we had thought maybe we would make donations to local businesses and have gift baskets that could be raffled off. But again, the feedback that we'd had in our initial conversations with different, our little surveys was just they were a little nervous about getting gift certificates from different businesses just while everything was in shutdown. For us, it was a little bit easier simply because it wasn't in complete shutdown at that point in time. So we were able to do like a virtual podium, and we did have a team there that was able to do the presentations virtually, and we had left the awards at the individuals' places so that when they went out, there was a reveal and we were there. But it was definitely a challenge. The only thing that we might be able, and again, I've been thinking about this, is to transfer over would be the support of a dinner. But then you're looking at costs. And it wouldn't be zero to join the event. There would be some type of cost because there needs to be either sponsorships to support that, or you need the attendees to support the expenses to that. Does that answer your question a little bit?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, even based on what about something as simple as just giving out Prescott dollars, a voucher to everyone who actually registers for the meeting itself, like not just views it, but as almost to try and engage people a little bit more, just put that out as a little added bonus that if you register, you get a free Prescott Prep dollars.
I think
voucher.
That's a fabulous idea.
Just something very simple, and I'm sure the town could probably sponsor that cost up, within, I don't think we're going to have 100 in every single downtown business participate.
Well, and something we had been looking at was just reaching out to our membership to see if they wanted to offer something like a Prescott dollars in association with their particular business. We just didn't have the time to kind of get that together fast enough and kind of have like a booklet or something in terms of coupons or something. That was actually something I wanted to bring up at some point in time, because I think that was something that the Chamber, the BIA, and the town of Prescott could work collaboratively with.
Yeah.
But no, I love the idea of the Prescott dollars. Like those little baskets that you guys do for Christmas and Halloween, they're the best.
Yeah, that was a special pandemic initiative, I think, that we were doing through the recreation department.
So, I mean,
well, we'd be willing to, if there's interest of the board, I'm sure that we could contribute some dollars for everyone all the, members who actually register. And then I was thinking venue, if there isn't a need or desire, if you're looking for a bit more of a backdrop, I'm speaking on Matthew's behalf, but I'm sure we could offer up the Ruth Evanson room again, as long as we're keeping the board numbers to a limited, and adhering to all of those requirements from a pandemic perspective.
So the feedback we had from that was phenomenal. People really appreciated the fact that it wasn't just a Zoom event. Like there was a podium, and we had all dressed up as if it was a gala. Everything was done through the podium. We had done a backdrop. It was completely decorated. People really appreciated the fact that even though it was in that virtual environment, we had done everything we could to respect the fact that this was supposed to be a gala event. So if the town is okay with that, I would be happy to take the lead on getting that organized in terms of what that looks like and how we can kind of stage that, depending on what the board thinks.
Yep. So I'm more than happy, as long as we just have the speakers in the room. Then I think when I think through the number of speakers, we're only talking 4 or 5 in that case. So I think we can accommodate that. It's a very large room, so certainly we can. If that's something that the board wants to do, then we can make that work.
And like Belinda said, it would give you a bit more of that professional kind of ambiance, right? Because we've got some nice banners. We've got a BIA banner, town banner, have some nice twinkly lights around the background.
People love the twinkly lights. It's true. You wouldn't believe the number of comments we got on those twinkly lights. It's
Makes them look at the twinkly lights.
yeah, it's like, oh, look, something sparkly.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're saying something? Oh, sparkly lights. That's not a bad idea. So would that mean, like, so if we have the speakers, say at town hall, obviously I'm one of them. So would that put me at town hall and the rest of the board on Zoom? Okay.
Yeah. So what we did is we didn't even have all the speakers on site. Some of the speakers were off site. So there were 4 of us on site. We had our master of ceremonies on site, myself and Bonnie, and our tech support, Linda, was there. So it was just the 4 of us. Linda was actually out in the hall because we found just with the dynamics of the sound, it sounded better if she was taking care of that just outside in the hall. And we just completely distanced and one at a time did what we needed to do.
And then Justin and I presented from the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
So then we could be on site as well and present from a separate area. But it would give you, it's more really to have that consistent backdrop of the BIA and for the BIA members that are presenting. And then you would probably still have your guest speakers off-site.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it worked very smoothly.
Do we have enough time to arrange this?
Oh, you could even have a little subcommittee to organize the actual setup. And then we would do a lot of it on our end from a town perspective as well. Justin and myself are fully prepared to assist.
Yeah, something like this is pretty quick to put together, but just because you're not dealing with caterers and the rest of it, it's really just the branding in terms of the presentation, that what you want it to look like. And as Dana mentioned, like the town has a lot of that branding already in place. It's just kind of picking and choosing what you want the event to look like and then determining the color scheme.
And then it's the reliability of the IT, right? That's a big issue. So we don't have members chiming in. If God forbid, Kevin's Wi-Fi goes down or something, You don't have those concerns, right?
Kevin just has to show up.
Or someone who understands the IT has to show up as well. That's
that's usually helpful too.
Yes.
I have no problem with this. What does everybody else think?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it would certainly give it that professional feel.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Oh, and just as an aside, Brockville, after we had our AGM, Brockville completely copied everything we did. which is really good because it just made us feel that, maybe we had hit some buttons and it was a positive experience.
The highest form of flattery.
Yeah. Great. Now we're going to copy you.
Loving
right.
it.
Well, if that's the case, Belinda, you kind of volunteered yourself already. Do you want to make a motion then, Belinda?
So I would like to make a motion that for the AGM, we accept the town's gracious offer of the room and we move the AGM into the room and do the presentation from there while respecting the boundaries that we have to respect in terms of social distancing.
That one makes sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So Belinda has made the motion. Would anybody care to second that one?
I will.
Everybody's raising their hands. I heard Jeannie first, actually.
Yeah.
So Jeannie will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion is carried. Probably, I've been kind of thinking the ideal thing, Belinda, is communicate with Justin since Justin's kind of organizing some stuff, I know because Justin, I have to talk to you anyways at another point in regards to the presentation. So that'll kind of put everything together. So maybe the three of us will communicate and then go from there.
Yeah, so if it's okay, I'll probably set something up for tomorrow just so that we can get the ball rolling between the three of us.
Yeah, give her.
Okay, I'll set that up.
Alrighty. And back to the other topic at hand, this suggestion of the Prescott dollars. Is that something we want to consider? Are we bribing people to come to the meeting?
The town will chip in on that, and so we'll cover it. And absolutely, I think it's a great way that we show support for the BIA and the members.
Exactly, and I don't think people saw it as bribing.
No, I know. It was just a joke.
You know, it's just
It gets those dollars flowing locally.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's right.
Our mandate is to support downtown business, and this again just shows that we are doing this.
Exactly. No, I agree. Do you need a motion from us then, Matthew? Nope. Okay. So
I kind of like the meal idea though as well. I just don't know how we'd be able to facilitate that. Like with the local restaurants. For the chamber, you just did one restaurant? Is that what I understand?
Right. So we had a lot of conversation about that. Like we originally started, we'd really like to be able to do it with a number of different restaurants, but just taking a look at the semantics of that, it just got very complicated very quickly. So what we did is we went through the past different events and located a business that we hadn't been able to have an event at previously, just because their business wasn't large enough to accommodate what we usually have in terms of membership. George at the Walk House was very accommodating, and we liaised on, and Dana helped, we liaised on directly with him in terms of, like, he brought on extra staff. Everyone that had attended the event, we sent out the menu ahead of time. We told them this is what your Prescott dollar contribution is allowable to be, which could include delivery. And again, George was able to provide us with a certain delivery area. The challenge with doing it with multiple vendors came to be just in terms of how do you actually organize that from a centralized perspective. So we thought about sending out the Prescott dollars, and then individuals could choose where they wanted to go. We just decided that we just, based on the time constraints, wanted to do it with one particular vendor because that is traditionally how we do it. And this way we were able to support a business that we hadn't supported previously just because of the space constraints. But I think if people were able to register early and they could receive their Prescott dollars, then obviously we could definitely recommend that they supported the local businesses. We just wanted to make sure that that money or that support was being particularly channeled in one particular way.
So from a registration perspective, we did leave it pretty late just because this idea is coming as an afterthought. So it's the Friday before. So there's not a lot of time. But, the assumption is everyone who registers is going to be local. We could easily get these dollars distributed to them on the Monday before the event. And what we did with the chamber is we even left it open an additional week. If there were individuals that didn't necessarily want to use their meal voucher that night, they could use it up to a week after. So we could, as Belinda suggested, just, the option that they couldn't based on their time constraints. We probably could give a list of all the restaurants that are participating dollars businesses, and then just simply deliver that with the dollars to individuals, and they could use it as they see fit. Or they wouldn't necessarily be restricted either. That would just be kind of a subtle encouragement that they could use it for dinner that night, or just, leave it very open-ended and they can spend it at any one of those participating businesses, whether they be a restaurant or not. But it would be wide open. It would be their choice. You know, we could subtly encourage them to order dinner using their vouchers for that night. But if they don't have a chance to, they're there to spend down the road. Because that's the beauty of the dollars. They never expire.
Mm-hmm. Right, okay.
And we did a very specific voucher for the Chamber Awards. It was specific to Walkhouse. It was a Walkhouse branded Prescott Proud dollar.
George was so excited. He was just like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Well, that's paraphrasing, but.
All right. So what do you think there, Pearl? Are you good with the way it is then, or?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Just keep it flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll still do our utmost to get those dollars delivered in time for them to use them for dinner if they so choose.
Well, that's great. That's a good idea. Thanks, Belinda, for letting us know that kind of stuff. That was great. That's a dog. Or a stuffed animal. I'm not sure. Oh no, it's a dog.
This is a mini.
A mini what?
Poor Teresa. A mini golden doodle.
Oh.
Teresa has a supposed mini golden doodle that's not so mini.
They thought it was going to be mini, and no, it's not.
Yeah, well, they're actually related. They have the same daddy, and I
Oh.
guess mommy must be a big bone dog, Teresa. That's what it is.
Alrighty. So I guess that's the staff section. That was a very elaborated staff section.
Okay.
Anything else on that then? I guess that was just the one thing, Dana. All right. 9, new business. I don't believe whatever new business we had, I think we talked about. If that is the case, then we can go home, and apparently I wasn't here for a full meeting, so it's going to be earlier for me, or feel earlier. So if anybody cares to make the motion for adjournment this evening,
Terrence.
I'll motion that we adjourn.
Karen will make the motion, seconded by the dog.
Pearl?
Oh, no,
Terrence.
Pearl.
Oh,
Oh, it is. Seconded by Pearl.
so adorbs.
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. I apologize. Sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is passed. Thank you very much, everybody. I apologize for my tardiness. That was my fault. And we'll see you at the AGM. And I think the next meeting is the 8th of June, if I'm correct. So thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Have a
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks.